All right, hard cut to us, because I still haven't fixed that stupid intro yet.
Oh, I was like, is that actually the intro
It's
or is that
not.
the outro?
I haven't fixed it. Anyway, Hi everybody. Welcome. Happy Friday. It is November the 6th, and we are here with the 74th episode of Gamestack, Video Games the Next
74.
Generation. Yes, 74, if we have done our numbering correctly. Hi, Vendor. How are you?
Yeah, it's 74 with a confidence interval of plus or minus
Yes.
2 episodes. So
Plus or minus 5,
Yeah.
maybe.
I'm doing okay. The question is, how are you?
I am doing absolutely all right, and I'm glad it's the weekend. Shalene was not able to make it tonight, as you can see if you're watching us. She's buried under a pile of hats.
Yes. Shalene, if you're in there, send us a message. We will send help.
I think she's at home. She's just like rummaging around in the hats. But yeah, so yeah, she will not be around for this evening. But however,
So you know what that means, right? The boss is away. The cats will play.
Just play video games. Talk about
Yeah.
everything that has nothing to do with video games. So about them Ravens in the sports world, sports things. No, we definitely have it. So it's the beginning of the month. It's the 6th. Yeah. And there are some new games. The new consoles launch. So there's a lot of stuff happening with that as well.
Whoop, whoop.
We got some good news items, some gamey stocks. Not that they're gamey, but you know.
You want gamey stocks? You need to go to Russia.
Oop, cough. And so, yeah, that's coming up. Again, I just want to point out to everyone that's joining us in chat, hi, that tomorrow was our Extra Life that was scheduled. It is not happening. However, there are a ton of other Extra Life streams happening because it is the 7th of November. Please go check them out. Donate to those streams. Give every bit of money that you possibly can spare to the young children because they need it. I just wanted to point that out and say that.
Okay.
All right. Without further ado, I should mention how everyone could help us promote the show, and that's by sharing us on your social media, telling your friends about us, hosting us on Twitch when you're watching us live. We'd really appreciate that. And yeah, just grassroots, spread the good word of the Gamestack and We Just Love Games podcasts. All right, before we get started, I think we have some 5-star review shout-outs and some new Discordians. Mr. Vendor, do you want to take
I would
it away?
love to go through that list.
Ooh.
Before we talk about the lovely new people in the Discord, I would just like to
Yes.
talk about the Discord as a community.
Yeah.
And how great this community of people is. Like it's absolutely awesome. If you're not in the Discord already,
You should be.
you should be. And if you're listening live right now and you're not in the Discord, get your butt in there. The link is right below Shalene's pile of hats, and you can join us. It is a we just love games Discord, so there's all kinds of stuff. But I am happy to say that Rick, you have taken the top spot for the number of messages.
It's probably because of the Dick's Picks radio show in the chat
You
thing there.
socialite you.
I know, I'm trying. I'm out of gas.
I have moved down to the second slot with 251 messages. And Sullivan has taken the third slot. So congratulations.
Yeah, it's been good. The general gaming chat has been filled with memes.
And Dick's Picks is now the top. Both the top. Oh no, it's not the top voice channel. It's community chat. Community chat is the top voice channel. But it is the top message channel, which is cool. That's surpassed the lobby, so that's pretty neat.
Yeah. Whenever there's a show going on and whenever I'm streaming music, everyone's very chatty and it's really nice. So
when was our last episode? That would have been October.
Of what? Last
30th.
episode of
October 30th. So since October 30th, we
Yes.
have gained a bunch of new members, and I'll go through that list in just a minute. I do want to mention, though, can we just take a minute and thank the community for being so very respectful regarding the current U.S. Election? Obviously, it is a very charged time in U.S. history, And it's been really nice in the Discord. People have been really respectful of each other. So good job, guys.
Like I said, the memes have been
The
amazing.
memes are great. Yes. The memes are, and we had a little meeting, Rick and Shalene and I, earlier this week, and we are like, okay, we got to be on guard this week because if something happens in the Discord, we're going to have to like censor people.
Well, the good thing is our audience historically has always been very diverse and always been very kind to each other. And I think it's safe to say that a good majority of our listeners are from the U.S. So it's really nice to see that it's just memes at this point, where it's more of a venting space rather than a ranting space, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's really nice. Anyways, we would like to welcome some new Discordians. Reens15, hello, welcome to the Discord. Also, Kangning88, hello, and welcome.
It's like onomatopoeia.
Yeah. ND2 Pump Guy. Welcome to the Discord. Crobert, welcome. Silk One, Drake Calzar, and Rad Scientist.
Nice.
Welcome to the Discord, guys. Make yourselves at home. Find a channel that you love, and fill it with all the messages so that you can beat Rick for the top number of messages.
Yes.
Yes. That's all we have on the Discord front.
Okay. And then I think we have a 5-star review shout
Oh, we have a 5-star review shout out, which was listed before the Discord stuff, which is why I missed it.
You can't ignore this one because he'll curse us.
I don't know how to say this without it being
Molag Ball?
vitriol. Malag Ball.
Yeah, Molag Ball. He's a god from Elder Scrolls lore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Malag Ball says, couldn't find any good Fallout podcasts until I found TFS and Gamestack. Love your podcast and have been listening for years.
What threw me off was the years thing. I was like, oh, he must have been listening to and then I went, oh, we've been podcasting for about 4 years now.
We've been doing this network for 3 or 4 years now. It's wild.
Daedric Prince of Domination. That's it. Not a god. I couldn't remember the Daedric Prince.
Thank you, Suliore. Okay, Rick, take it away.
All right. In tonight's episode, we've got some news and new releases, some free games too, as well. We have some gameplay from both of us, I believe. And I think that's going to be it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and see what this just in. That was as smooth as chunky peanut butter.
I even highlighted it.
I know.
How did?
I was trying to say I couldn't transition it.
We'll work on it. We'll work on it later. It's fine.
Okay, we have quite a long list of new games. As always, shout out to Joseph Tao for the new releases and the news hints. New consoles this month, so it's a lot going on. So here we go. Jurassic World Evolution for the Switch on November 3rd. That's already out, as well as Breath.
Wait, I got a new challenge for you. Try to do it for as long as you can on a single breath.
No, I don't want to.
Come on, you can do it. I know you can. Let's see how many you can get through.
No, I'm not. I can't.
Just have a little drink there, and then. Okay, do it just once.
What?
Come on, do it for Vendor just once.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll try to do it on one breath, but also take my time, so it'll be even more.
Or
difficult.
I could set a timer. And we'll see how long it takes you to get to the end.
Okay.
This list is quite long.
It is. But I don't want to. If it was any other month, I would definitely try it. But I don't want to miss anything because there's so much stuff going on right now. So Breath Edge for the PC on November 5th, as well as Yestermorrow, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC for November 5th. Out today, you can get the Dirt 5, because I'm an old adult now. The Dirt 5, PS4, Xbox One, and PC, as well as Need for Speed: Hot Pursuit Remastered, PS4, Xbox One, PC, and Switch. If you're fans of this show, Paw Patrol: Mighty Pups Save Adventure Bay is out for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Coming out on November 10th, we've got Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Valhalla Batgirl is what it should have been. Sorry. PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Stadia PC. That's out November 10th, as well as Destiny 2: Beyond Light. PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC. Fuser is out for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC on the 10th, as well as Planet Coaster Console Edition, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. 13? Is that?
It's just 13.
Is that a remake of the comic game, or are they releasing it on new gen consoles? Because that game was awesome.
13 is a first-person shooter video game loosely based on the first 5 volumes of the 1984 Belgian graphic novel series of the same name.
Ooh, I'm glad that is coming back out again. I loved that. I played it for like the PlayStation 2. So that's coming out on November 10th for the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC, as well as Yakuza: Like a Dragon.
Can we just back up here for a second? Did you know David Duchovny was the voiced protagonist in 13?
I did not know that.
Yeah, just a side note. Okay, continue.
Yakuza: Like a Dragon. PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and PC on November 10th. There's a little note here that says, not sure how backwards compatibility works from PlayStation 4 to PlayStation 5 game discs, or wait until PlayStation 5 version, which comes out March 2nd, 2021. So there you go. Side note for that. Now, the Xbox S/X series launch is going to be on November 10th as well. There's a lot of stuff happening that day. These are the exclusives. These are on Game Pass, I believe. Bright Memory, Chinese dev FYQD, is putting that out. Enlisted is a time-exclusive World War II MMO-based squad-based shooter. Forza Horizon 4 is going to be out. Gears 5 comes out on the 10th. Gears Tactics for the XSS... X and Xbox One. Jeez, it's coming out for all the Xboxes.
For the XS, the X/S, the Xbox One. There you go.
For all the Xboxes.
Just a reminder, you're going to have to do that at least 2 more times.
Grounded comes out. Ori and the Will of the Wisps comes out. Sea of Thieves, The Falcon Ear, which is an open-world air combat game. Yakuza Like a Dragon comes out on the XS and X/S, the new gen exclusive. It's a new gen exclusive until March 2nd, 2021. Nothing coming out on November 11th. For PlayStation 5, which comes out on November the 12th, exclusives, 20 games. The PlayStation Plus collection is 20 games from the PlayStation 4, like God of War is going to be out. Astro's Playroom, Bug Snacks, Demon Souls, Godfall, Marvel's Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and Sackboy, A Big Adventure. There you go.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sackboy :
A Big Adventure.
So there's non-exclusive launch games. These games are coming out on the respective console launch dates. So Assassin's Creed: Valhalla, Borderlands 3, Dead by Daylight, Destiny 2, and then Destiny 2 Beyond Light, Devil May Cry 5, Special Edition, Dirt 5, Fortnite, Man-Eater, Madden NFL 21, NBA 2K21, Observer, System Rid, Planet Coaster, Warhammer Chaos Bane, Watch Dogs, Legion, and WRC 9. Evergate comes out November 10th on the SX and the X/S, along with King Oddball, Manifold Garden, Sakuna: of Rice and Ruin. That comes out on PlayStation 4, Switch, and PC on November 10th. Tetris Effect: Connected comes out on all the Xboxes, including the PC, along with Yes, Your Grace comes out as well on November 10th. On November 12th, you've got Esports Life Tycoon, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Just Dance 2021 on the 12th comes out for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, Switch, and Stadia. Pathless comes out November 12th on PlayStation 4, 5, PC, and iOS. No announcement on the Xbox yet. Call of Duty: Black Ops Cold War, which is something I'm actually kind of looking forward to because I love that era. That comes out on PlayStation 4, 5, XS.
Wait, where's that set?
The Cold War era, like the 80s. Nixon.
Oh, yeah.
Or Reagan. Sorry, not Nixon. Reagan. Xbox One and PC. That's November 13th. Also on November 13th is Kingdom Hearts: Melody of Memory, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Switch. Monster Truck Championship comes out for the Switch on November 19th. On the 20th, you get Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity for the Switch. Katamari Damacy Reroll for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. On the 24th, you get Football Manager 2021, along with Just Dance 2021, which comes out for PlayStation 5, the Xbox XS, and X/X. So there's that. On November 25th for PlayStation 4, you get Vigor.
Man, that was well done.
You know
that
what's
was
not on this list?
5 minutes 54 seconds.
We'll get to what's not on this later, which makes me upset. Some free games that you get in November 2020. Free PlayStation Plus games announced, including Bug Snacks on PlayStation 5. You get that, like I said, from November 12th to January 4th. Middle Earth: Shadow of War and Hollow Knight: Voided Earth Edition for PlayStation 4 will be available from November 3rd to the 30th. It's playable via backward compatibility. Let's see here. The PlayStation... so the PlayStation Plus collection is available at PlayStation 5's launch as part of the PS Plus subscription at no extra fee. So make sure you check that out. Let's see here. Xbox games with gold for November: Origami Shadow Edition, Lego Indiana Jones, as well as Swim Sanity, Full Spectrum Warrior, and, like I said, Lego Indiana Jones. Prime Gaming for November 2020. Let's see here. You get Victor Vran, A Knight's Quest, Smoke and Sacrifice, Lethus, A Path of Progress. I'm glad I didn't get the L and the P mixed up. Arian: Legacy of the Corey Odin. And that's a lot of free games, man, coming out too, as well as some of the stuff that's on this list here. So that's everything. Probably going to have to scroll back through it if you missed some things, but there's a lot coming out.
Jeez.
Yeah. All right, on to the main attraction. What's going on in the news?
The news. Well, the PS5 is launching. Right? So we have some PS5 launch news. So this story comes to us from Gabe Gerwin over at GameSpot. And he talks about how the PS5 custom faceplate site canceled orders after Sony threatened legal action.
Right.
So if you were hoping to customize your new PS5 with a fancy new custom faceplate, you're probably going to have to wait for an official Sony solution. Yeah. So a company was offering replacement PS5 plates in a variety of different colors, and they have since canceled those orders after being threatened with a lawsuit from Sony. After speaking with VGC, a representative from Customize My Plates, which had been known as Plate Station 5, until a few days ago, confirmed that it had canceled all plate orders, citing legal threats from Sony as the reason behind both its name change and infringement on its own trademarks, i.e. the faceplates.
If this were Microsoft, they would have just bought the company and
right?
distributed their own faceplates.
They would have just bought the ideas so that it would save them the time from having to come up with the idea. Sony, come on, keep up here.
I know,
keep
right?
Here.
Buy the company and then have them develop your plates, man. Simple.
Anyways, VGC's representative, actually, I'm going to say Plate Station 5 because it's funner. PlayStation 5's representative said Sony's lawyers told us it was their opinion that Sony's intellectual property extended to faceplates, and that if we continued to sell and distribute them in any country, we would end up in court. So,
boom.
Unfortunately, they are abandoning that. I'm actually kind of surprised by this. Because, look at all the iPhone cases.
I know. Those kiosks in the malls.
Right? Like, it's the same thing. And I don't know. I guess they want to monopolize on that.
Maybe they have plans to do exclusive faceplates for, like, game releases or something. I don't know. It seems so petty to be like, you can't customize your console.
I'm kind of thinking it might be a warranty thing. Maybe. It could be a warrant. Like if you use a different faceplate that's made with a different plastic material, and it like compromises the temperature of your console, people might there would be no way for them to track that. People would just say that their console broke, and not tell Sony that they put a third party faceplate on it. So, I don't know. Maybe.
I didn't think about that. That's true. That might have been. That could be a reason.
I'm sure that
it has more to do with
a bunch of legal reasons. Even just the design of the faceplate, like how it's probably, what is it, 3D printed maybe?
Probably
Or
molded plastic.
Like
yeah.
the mold is patented, right?
Mhm.
So
So they have
that
to
means
reverse
that these
engineer it.
companies that are, so anyways.
Who knows? They'll probably, maybe PlayStation will put out their own versions of it, you know?
Well, we can probably expect Sony to offer up its own replacements in many different colors down the line. I think that it would certainly be easier than offering completely different colors for consoles altogether.
It's true.
Because that would just be silly, wouldn't it? So Sony has done that in the past, of course, which is why I remark on it.
Well, all the
And
companies had with like the Gears of War custom consoles and stuff.
Well, as you recall, Xbox 360's first iteration actually featured a replaceable faceplate.
Did it?
Yeah, and in 2014, the Nintendo new 3DS also sold replaceable faceplates in certain regions. So there were plenty of people wanting to make their PS5 look really cool, but unfortunately, you're going to have to wait. So. Or you could just 3D print your own and have it there.
That.
But we don't endorse that. But there's always that possibility. Take that, Sony. Also, on the PS5 front, they will not be supporting, and this is very disheartening. I know you're going to be really upset about this. PS5 will not support solid-state drive expandable storage at launch.
What?
Yeah. So they've confirmed that they're not supporting expandable storage at launch. So
okay. Maybe they can just do a firmware update.
Yes. In a statement that they sent to The Verge, let me see if I can pull this statement here so that I can read it verbatim for you guys.
So it's safe to say that the PlayStation 5 is going to be a Call of Duty exclusive system, because that's probably all you're going to be able to fit on there is just Modern Warfare. 250 gigs, I think, is the install size now for that game.
Sony does claim that the PS5 can actually load virtual worlds far faster than ever before, thanks to one of its fastest solid-state drives ever made. But it's also not a particularly big drive, like you mentioned. So, and this was confirmed on The Verge, and they've confirmed that you won't be able to expand that SSD on day one. Which is unfortunate, but out of the box, Sony said this is reserved for a future update.
Okay, so at least the functionality is built into it.
Yeah, so if you've been paying close attention to the PS5 news, this probably won't come to you as a surprise. But the hardware architect Mark Kearney spent several minutes talking about the SSD expansion to The Verge. And here's what he had to say. It'd be great if that happened by launch, but it's likely to be a bit past it. So please hold off on getting that M.2 drive until you hear from us. So,
nice.
What's the holdup, you ask? As Kearney explained, not all the M.2 SSDs are fast enough to keep up with the PS5. So there could be some hardware-specific issues that could create a lot of problems. Thin enough also is another issue. So a lot of the SSDs are just not thin enough to fit into the console, or they're also not compatible with Sony's I/O controller. And Sony has promised to do compatibility testing later this year to make sure.
Gotcha. I mean, it makes sense.
You know what? I'm totally okay with this. I mean, okay, let's talk about the storage capacity So the PS5's 825 gigabyte single solid drive may come with as little as 667 gigabytes of usable storage, according to leaks.
That's not a ton.
Compare that to the size requirements for some PS5 launch games: 32 gigabytes for Sackboy: A Big Adventure, Spider-Man 50 gigabytes. Spider-Man Remastered, 105 gigabytes. Demon's Souls, 66. Call of Duty Black Ops, 133 gigabytes.
That's small compared to Modern Warfare.
So storage isn't going to be a unique problem for Sony, since Microsoft has already decided to go to solid-state drives with their 1 terabyte Xbox Series X and 512 gigabyte Xbox Series S. But I like that they haven't totally dismissed it as a possibility for somebody to swap out a solid state.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you're going to have to build compatibility into it. And and I would be more shocked if they were like, it's not going to happen at all. To me, this sounds like they're setting up them selling their own exclusive Sony branded solid states, where like it has to fit, it's got to be the right size, it's got to be the right speed. Where before you could just plug a hard drive in.
Well, and I mean, it sounds like something Apple would do. Quite frankly,
they do seem to be going that route of just like sectioning everybody else off, and they're just kind of staying in their little wheelhouse.
Not attending conferences, having specific pieces of hardware that you have to go through Sony for.
So and
but
that's
you know
fine.
What? People are like water; they're gonna find a way.
And people like Sony, and they buy Sony for Sony's products. So as long as Sony is catering to their consumers to what they want, then I think there shouldn't be an issue. One thing to note too is that when you see like a terabyte hard drive or like 863 gigabyte hard drive or whatever, that does not, what they're telling you is, or what they're not saying is, or keep in mind that the operating system, the firmware, BIOS, everything in that regard is also being housed on that hard drive. So even though you have a terabyte, maybe 100 gigs or 150 gigs is already taken up out of that. So just keep that in mind, and before you start planning out how many games you're going to install, there's always going to be a little less space than what is allocated on the full disk.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, the good news with all of these different consoles is that they'll support a USB external storage. I mean, we can expect that. And Sony has confirmed that they're going to be available on PS5 on day one. So you will be able to plug in an external drive. Now,
okay.
I know
you just can't expand the internal drive.
Well, the thing about it is that with the PS4, and don't quote me on this, but I don't believe that you could actually run your games off an external drive. But you could have things like images and other types of data, movies, TV shows.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Things like that. But with the PS4, I don't think you could actually store your data on an external drive. I think you could back up your console to an external drive, but you couldn't actually play your game off of that. So, and that's because of those internal processes and things like that. But don't quote me on that. That was my experience. So
not quoting at all. All right. Everything all right?
Yeah, I keep hearing something. Okay. One last thing I want to say about this is if you're thinking that you want to buy a PS5 or an Xbox, and you're worried that a disk drive means that you won't be able to, or you won't need all of that internal storage, that's not entirely the case. Since the PS4 and the Xbox One, most of the big disk-based games have required you to install them to the drive. So keep that in mind. And the disk will just save you from downloading all of those other parts and act really as your gatekeeper. So,
yep.
Yes.
Good to know.
Yeah, so our next story comes to us also from Sony. Let's talk about the PS5 a little bit more. PS5 launch day sales will be online only.
That's new.
So I think that this is a great feat of corporate social responsibility on Sony's part in trying to physically distance its customers. So there will be no camping outside of your local game shop this year to be that first person on the block to get a PS5. The next generation of consoles from Sony will be ordered entirely online. And this is an effort to keep staff, gamers, and retailers safe during the COVID pandemic.
Hopefully there's no scalpers buying like 10 of them at a time and then flipping them on eBay.
Yeah, that's the other thing. No PS5 units will be available in store for purchase on November 12th.
Right.
So don't go to a shop thinking that you can get one. And if you previously pre-ordered the PS5 for pickup, you will still be able to grab your new console during the designated time that your retailer allotted for you. So, and Sony has noted that customers planning to do an in-store pickup on launch day needs to coordinate that with the retailer.
Nice.
So, so once again, the message from the senior director, SIE Content Communications says, This is Sid Schumann, says, please don't plan on camping out or lining up at your local retailer on launch day in hopes of finding a PS5 console for purchase. Be safe, stay home, and place your order online. So that's PS5. What do you think about that?
I think it makes sense. The only thing that I am a little nervous about is when NVIDIA launched their 3080, they didn't have any protocols set for scalpers, and they sold out in an instant. With the 3070, instead of adding to cart, what they did was when you clicked buy it, they would put your order in a time, and then they would email you when your time came up, like in a list, so that way you couldn't just spam and buy a bunch, because you can write automated scripts to just buy a bunch for you, and that's how the scalpers would buy a bunch before anybody else could. So I'm hoping that they put in some sort of security where you don't have to sit there and keep refreshing your page and then like try to buy it and they're all sold out because some idiot bought them all. So we'll see. But I think it's a great idea. I think it's definitely a great idea.
Speaking of content creators and developers having a little bit more social responsibility, are you familiar with Pokimane?
Only in the sense of how adults mispronounce Pokemon.
Back in my day was a Pokimane.
Played a Pokemon game.
Where's that Pokimane game?
She's a Twitch streamer, right?
Pokimane is a Twitch streamer, and she has gone to capping her donations at $5.
Oh.
Yeah, this is a Kotaku article from Nathan Grayson. Of course, we love you, Nathan. And earlier this week, Annie's announced on Twitter that she has set a donation of maximum of $5 on her stream, recommending that fans who want to spend more should instead support growing channels, charities, and treat yourselves. So, I think that this is absolutely fantastic. And I also think that it's actually going to bring her more donations, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, because I think people will support that idea, and they'll go to her channel just to donate to her idea.
Interesting.
But I think it's great. I think that's a great thing. I've always touted, and you guys have heard me talk about this until I'm blue in the face, about how Twitch is a broken system.
Oh, of course.
And it doesn't support anybody except the guys at the top, kind of like our society. So there is just this elephant in the room in Twitch, and it makes it very difficult for any new content creators or streamers to really sort of break through that glass ceiling.
Yeah, I saw a Twitch streamer. She works for a popular gaming company, and she's, pretty vocal on Twitter, and she got banned from Twitch out of nowhere. Didn't send her any emails, and when she finally figured out why, it was because of a bumper that she had been using for 6 years and never bothered to ban her until now.
Oh.
And like, she's no warning, nothing, just gone. She had, she's got charity streams coming up, so it's just like, yeah, Twitch does not have any sort of normalcy. Not normalcy. What's the no regularity with the way that they enforce their stuff. But I'm glad to see that this streamer is being so cool about it.
I mean,
trying to spread the wealth.
Twitch is just another social media platform, right?
Sure.
And it's just another example of how social media is still a wild west.
Absolutely.
And I think Pokimane is sort of a pioneer. She's setting the pace and saying, look, we need to take a step back and reevaluate the system that we have in place for these people, because it's not fair. Anyways, I just want to read out what she had said. So she said, I've worked with Streamlabs to create a custom donation cap of $5 on my channel. I think this might be the first time they've ever done that. I'm not sure. I just really want to thank you guys for supporting me when I was in high school, when I was $20,000 in debt in university, to the very, very lucky place where I am today, and where I consider anything more than $5 just unnecessary. So I think that's quite wonderful. Yeah. So I hope that we see this. I don't want to say cancel culture, but this like shift shift in Twitch culture where people sort of bigger streamers move to that model. I'm not sure. I doubt it'll happen. People are money hungry bastards, but
who knows? I don't pay attention to Twitch drama because it's just like if I wanted to care about high school,
yeah,
it feels like it's high school, like the popular whatever's. I don't even care.
It's yeah. Anyways, on to more important things.
Yeah, this
Cyber 2077. Okay, now I know how the Republicans could have won the election, Rick, or could win the election.
Okay.
All they have to do is promise the American people that Cyber 2077 would be released by November 15th.
The first candidate to promise the release date wins.
They would win. Anyways, yes. So this article comes to us from Ethan Gach, Kotaku. Cyberpunk 2077 is delayed. So release is being pushed back 3 weeks until December 10. CD Projekt Red announced today on Twitter. Actually, this article was on October 27th, so that was last week. But the studio blamed the delay on the difficulty of simultaneously shipping a game across so many different platforms. And the studio head Adam Badowski and Marcin Iwinski wrote in a statement, "The biggest challenge for us right now is shipping the game on current gen and next gen and then also PC all at the same time, which requires us to prepare and test 9 different versions of it. Xbox One, Xbox X, compatibility on Xbox Series S, Xbox Series X, PS4, PS4 Pro, compatibility on PS5, PC, and of course, Stadia."
Wow.
Yeah. And they've all been expected to try and do this from the comforts of their remote home offices, which would be very difficult. So they went on to say, since Cyber 2077 evolved towards almost being a next-gen title, somewhere along the way, we need to make sure everything works well and every version runs smoothly. We're aware it might seem unrealistic when someone says that 21 days can make any difference in such a massive and complex game, but they really do. So, yeah. How are you upset, Rick? I know you were really looking forward to this.
I still am looking forward to it. I will not be pre-ordering this game and haven't. I don't think that they should give us a release date until they know. Like, just say it's been delayed. We're aiming for December, and we'll let you know a date. And then when they finally solidify it, then they could be like, it'll be on December, whatever. But I would not be surprised if it got pushed back to 2021.
Well, here's an idea. How about you place reasonable timelines and deadlines on your video game developers?
Dude, this has been in development for what, 4 years now? Like, we saw this many moons ago. 2018, we saw this.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I think
agree,
that I think there needs to be a little compassion, just because, COVID is difficult for everybody, companies too. And it's difficult to operate with some normalcy. Things are delayed. We've seen that before. I'm not surprised by this at all.
Yeah.
In fact, I think that they were really struggling to try to make that work, but it just, yeah.
Yeah. I am looking forward to playing the game when it comes out, but I think at this point, if they delay it again, it's going to kill a lot of, I think, fire for this game. I'm losing a bit of interest, where I'm like, yeah, this was going to be my November uplift, kind of thing. But
well, I'm more inclined to get it now because I'll have some time to play it over the Christmas break.
There you go.
Maybe.
You're just going to be playing Ark, face it.
Oh, I can't wait to tell you. Okay, anyways, last story in the news. Capcom hack. Shalene said that she would take this one, but she's not here.
I put that in there.
Oh, okay, you take it.
Yes, I put this in here. So this comes from Bleeping Computer. Lawrence Abrams wrote this. And what happened, Capcom got hacked, you guys. If you have an account with Capcom, they have games such as Street Fighter, Resident Evil, Devil May Cry, Monster Hunter, and Mega Man. They announced yesterday, which was the 4th, that they were hacked by the Ragnar Locker group, hacker group. So they were starting to notice some network issues, different things were being locked out, and then they got a ransom note. The ransom note says, we have breached your security perimeter and got access to every server of your company's network in different offices from Japan to USA and Canada. We have downloaded more than 1 terabyte total of volume of your private sensitive data, including accounting files, banking statements, budget and revenue files classified as confidential, tax documents, intellectual property business information, clients and employees' personal information, such as passports and visas, incident acts, corporate agreements and contracts, non-disclosure agreements, confidential agreements, sales summaries. We also have your private corporate correspondence, emails, messenger conversations, marketing presentations, audit reports, and a lot of other sensitive info. And then they back that up with providing links to documents that they got from this hack. They are asking for $11 billion in Bitcoin to release the encryption key, the decryption key. So do you know what ransomware is, Vendor? I'm pretty certain you probably are familiar because the healthcare industry has been hit by it pretty rough recently. Mm-hmm. But for those of you just listening, what it is some bumpkin who's sitting in a network somewhere gets an email, says, hey man, check this link out, it's pretty freaking rad. And they're like, oh, I'm gonna check this video out. They click this link, and what they do is and then it pulls up the browser, and they're like, oh, my browser needs updating. Well, I'll click update, and instead of updating the browser, that will download a virus, which will start working its way through the network, through computer systems, through network controllers, domain access controllers, everything, and encrypts every file with a password. And you can't break this encryption. It would take years to break this encryption if it's even at all feasible in a timeline. So what they do is, after they encrypt everything, they download it and then they encrypt it, and then they say, hey, if you pay us X amount of Bitcoin, we'll give you the passcode to decrypt all your files, and we promise to delete all the data we've downloaded. Is basically what happens with these ransomware attacks. Typically, they target healthcare and hospitals. They've actually had one death attributed to ransomware because machine firmware couldn't update and it killed a patient. But according to a negotiation service named Coveware, ransomware operations increasingly are not keeping their promises by deleting said data, and they end up getting sold on the deep web and other third-party situations. So, yeah. That's bad. If you have accounts with Capcom or anywhere really, you should always check out this website called Have I Been Pwned. You can always enter your email there, and it will tell you if that email's been breached and if passwords were involved or what else has been involved that way. If it has been, you can go change your passwords and make sure that your stuff is locked down as possible. So, yeah, poor Capcom. Apparently they haven't pulled out of this yet. I think they're starting to get some network connectivity back, but their site has been down for a couple days. So, yep, that's where we're at. I think this is the first major game hack that we've had that I can think of, other than like a leak. So, whoops. And I think that's it for the news. I think we've got some stock.
That part where you taper off the volume for me. Yeah, great, thanks.
Sorry.
Yes, Sony closed. These prices come from right off the ticker tape as of 6:20 p.m. this evening, Mountain Standard Time. And of course, these are always listed in US dollars. Sony closed today at $89.85, up 46 cents. Microsoft up 43 cents, closing at $223.72. Nintendo down $2.03, closing at $70.68. Take-Two at $175.19, up $6.51. Interesting. Activision $78.81, down $1.33, also down $1.28 is Ubisoft closing at $80.20. EA closed at $119.19, down almost $10. And 10 cents, down $1.07 at $79.76.
$1.
I am really interested to see where these prices will be next week.
Yeah, everything's kind of in limbo at the moment.
So everything will either be normal or it will have all tanked and everything's on fire. I don't know what's going to happen.
We'll find
see.
out together.
Anyways, what brings me joy is talking about gameplay. Rick,
Yes.
what have you been playing?
Well, I have been playing a good chunk of Fallout 76, but I'm going to skip all that and talk about one of the most amazing experiences I've ever had playing a video game. It was like a GoldenEye 64 moment for me, right? It was on that level of like, whoa, like crazy. I don't want to stop playing. I went over to a friend's house for Halloween. It was just like, you know, since Evie's not going out and doing trick-or-treating, we just went over to a coworker's house and we played video games. And one of the things that it was getting late and I was like, man, I kind of want to go home. You know, I don't feel like being here anymore, because we were there for like 6 hours or something. And I was like, I'm ready to go home. And then my wife was like, well, you should try Alex for the VR and the Half-Life game. And I was like, all right, I'll try it. You've been raving so much about it. So the VR got hooked up and Alex got booted up, and I put the headset on with the things and I picked up the controllers. And you start out on this balcony and you're overlooking this cityscape, and there is just like alien type machines and cables and stuff everywhere, and it's just this really cool looking environment. I'm like, oh, this looks pretty cool, you know. And you look at your hands and you can move your hands around, and depending on what buttons you hit, you can either do this or you can do this, and then grab stuff. And so like I looked down, I saw a roll of duct tape and picked up the duct tape, and I'm holding it like this, and so I go and make a little pointer finger, and I'm trying to like stick my finger in the hole of the roll of the duct tape. I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. So I take the duct tape and I just throw it off the edge of the balcony, and I was like, that's for some reason weirdly satisfying. Pick up like a soda can and throw it up in the air and catch it.
You've had VR for quite some time.
I've never played a VR game though. It's my wife's. Like she plays Beat Saber, and like I didn't like Beat Saber. Like, you know, it was cool, but it wasn't my thing. So I never really was impressed with VR.
Just real quickly, I made a friend through Among Us who lives in Australia, who is one of the lead developers on Beat Saber.
Nice.
And we play Among Us now.
Nice.
And he's super cool. Anyways,
and in case he listens to this, I really love Beat Saber. But I've played No Man's Sky in VR, and it was awful. And same thing with Senua's Sacrifice. It was just not good in VR.
Oh my god, I can't even imagine playing that on VR. I can't even do it on a 20-inch monitor.
No, well, the problem was it was like a resolution issue. The screen was smaller than the VR screen. It just didn't work. So I hadn't been a fan of VR, so that's why I was really reluctant to play this. I was like, it can't be that good. So, but then I started picking up soda cans, and then I started trying to juggle. And you can throw things up and catch them. And I picked up 2 terracotta pots. You could bang them together, throw them, and they shatter, and throw them off the edge. I'm like, I love the interactivity of this. This is so cool. So I walked into this room, and there's a button flashing, and I made the pointer finger thing, and I went boop and hit the button, and this call started. You can pick up magic markers, right? You can pick up dry erase markers and draw on the wall or the windows. So first thing I did was I drew a penis, and because I'm an 8-year-old.
Such a guy.
And then I put that down, and you can pick up an eraser and then erase it. You know, like it was so amazing to like have so much flexibility in how you do things in a video game, rather than like pick the gun up, shoot the gun, put the gun away, pull the gun out. This is like by far so much different. So I had my friend launch me into a section where I actually had a gun, and the way that you reload, it's super crazy. The way that you reload, you fire, you're out of bullets, you have to hit a button to drop the magazine. You got to reach behind you and get another magazine out. You put it in the gun, and then you hit a button to lock the slide, or you can rack it back with your hand. So I was like, I want to play with this a little bit. So I dropped the magazine out, the one that had bullets in it. So there's one in the chamber, and I rack the slide back, and the bullet goes ping and flies out. And you pick up the individual bullet off the ground. I was like, I wonder if you could. And I tried to put it like back in the chamber, and it just kind of fell on the ground. And you couldn't put it in your inventory. So it was just kind of like, you just waste bullets if you want. So I load the gun back up, and I just start wandering around, and I come to this like toll booth in a subway, and there's a dead body in the ground. So like I put the gun away, and I reach my hands out, and I look for points to grab on the body. So I grab the leg, and I grab the body armor, and I'm trying to like pick him up and maneuver him out of this hole so I could like walk past him, and I pick him up and throw the body, and I walk across the street into this hotel. and it was so weird. So I had my pistol out. I put my hand. This is why it's so strange to explain this, because it seems so basic, but it's VR, so it's different. I put my hand on the door, and you could actually like turn the handle of the door, push it slowly, and put the gun through, and like move into the room like in a tactical manner.
Oh,
and it was just so cool because I'd never had been able to do that before.
Yeah.
And so I maneuver in and I look around and I see stuff, and there's one of those like things from Half-Life where the tongue's hanging down, and if you get caught in the tongue, it sucks you up. But I shot it and got some ammo out of it. And I walk into this bar room in this hotel, and a face hugger comes out, and I shoot it twice and drop it, and a zombie comes through the suitcase rack and stumbles and picks up someone. Bang, 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 click. And then I'm like, crap, now I gotta reload. So I'm like, I drop the magazine, pull one out, and like I'm like put it in, and I'm trying to find the button, and I hit the button, and I drop the magazine out. I'm like, I gotta try to pick it up off the ground real quick and slap it back in the gun. Bang, 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 and drop it.
That's exactly what it's like when you give Canadians a gun and you tell them to try and protect themselves. They're like dropping stuff all over the place. They don't know what they're doing.
My buddy's laughing. He's like, it's so much fun to watch someone's first panic reload in this game, because it's like coming at you and you're like trying to jump. And so I killed that, and then the one thing that's really cool is he has this glove on. It's called a gravity glove, and you could like hover. You can like look at an object and hit a button and flick the hand towards you, and it will launch the object towards you, and then you have to then catch it. And so like if you see like ammo across the room, you could just like flick it towards you, catch it, and put it in your backpack. And so that comes in handy later. I went up to this next door, right? So after I had that little encounter, I was like, all right, I'm good. And I opened the door and I put my pistol up to clear the room, and I realized I had like a hand tool. It somehow switched over to a hand tool. I'm like, close the door, get the pistol. All right. And I open the door, and there's nothing in there, and I see this yellow thing on the ground, right? I'm standing next to the door frame, and I pick this yellow thing up. I'm looking at it. You know, you could just maneuver it around. You can toss it, and I'm like, hey, dude, what's this? And he goes, oh, that's a grenade. And I'm like, okay, I'll put it in my inventory. So I reach back and put it in my inventory, and I hear clink, clink, and I look, and it's on the ground. And apparently I had one I had one in the inventory already, so it just I just like threw it behind me. So so I pick it up, and I'm like, all right, how do you work it? And I'm hitting buttons, and like, okay, nothing. And then I hit a button, it goes and starts counting down. I'm like, I throw it, it hits the door frame and bounces back at me, and I'm like, I'm just like, crap. And so like I quickly like do the flick thing, and I catch it and then whip it out of the door as it explodes. I was like, whoa. You see these YouTube videos of like, you know, army men trying to train, and they accidentally throw the pin, and like the drill sergeant has to pull them out of the grenade pit and drop on them so they don't. And I'm like, oh, that's funny. I can't believe anyone ever does that. And there I am, like, clink, hit the door frame.
Well, first of all, you dropped it behind your back.
Well, I was trying to put it in my backpack.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it was one of the most visceral and intense experiences I had ever had playing video games. I haven't played, because Alex was developed from the ground up to be VR compatible. If you put your hand, go ahead.
It's just a sandbox.
No, it's a Half-Life story game.
Oh, yeah.
So it takes place when the Combine invade Earth, and then you're kind of
Yep.
And so I'd never had an experience where, like, you know, I could grab the door frame, and depending on how I slide my hand or move my hand, it will change positions. Like I put my hand on like a radio, and depending on how you maneuver your hand, the hand will change to make sense of how you would put your hand on an object. And even though, again, it's just basic, like, who cares if you can pick soda cans up and whip them? But
the VR, you've got the controllers, right?
Yeah.
So
and
you're doing this
and moving your hands around. Yeah. Right. Exactly.
This.
But still, even with that small amount of flexibility, it's crazy what you can do.
It seems odd to me that they didn't make like neural net gloves for VR.
I'm sure that they're developing those.
Yeah, I mean, maybe.
You know, musicians, they already have Bluetooth gloves that musicians use to control pitch and stuff. So I would venture to guess it wouldn't be that difficult to create that. The way that these, I think, I can't remember which VR headset this was. Same ones we have, but I forget what it is. But they use little lights. It might be the Vive, but they use little lights on the controller, and you have to have the room kind of dark, so that way the headset can pick up the controller. You don't have to have a bar or other sensors placed around the room. But it was one of the most fun things. I came home and immediately bought Black Mesa, which is the fan remake of Half-Life 1. And so I've been playing through Half-Life 1, and I forgot how hard games were back in the early 2000s and 90s. Like, sheesh. It's a hard game, especially when you're used to like cushy games where you can like do a bunch of stuff. And like this game, you can shoot, and that's about it. And it's hard. And I'm working through Half-Life 1 to play Half-Life 2 because I've always wanted to play Half-Life 2 and never have. And then I'm going to buy Alex for our VR system so I can play that game because it was so much fun. So if you have a VR system, what?
VR is one of those alluring things for me. I've always been interested in the technology, but I'm just not there yet.
After I played that, I am like on board with it. This particular game. So.
I think it still needs more time.
I agree.
For several reasons. One, the headsets need to be smaller and lighter, and more efficient, so not requiring cable and things like that.
Yeah, that is the problem with ours. Is it's got a cable.
Two, we don't have any scientific evidence to show the impact of VR on vision, like vision health. And things like that. So I need to see that data. So my question for you is how did you feel after wearing it? How long did you wear it for?
I probably played for like an hour.
And how did you feel after taking it off?
Did you
have like depth perception problems?
No, I didn't. It's definitely funny because your mind quickly adjusts. At least I quickly adjusted to the in-game environment to where all of a sudden I didn't have, like, I know that room. I know where stuff was. But the second I put that on and started moving around, I lost any comprehension of the room I was in. Yeah. And when you take it off, you're like, oh, I didn't know I was facing this direction. So you lose a lot of cognitive of where you are in the game. So, but I get sick when I read in cars. So I was really nervous to play it. And after I took it off, my stomach hurt a little bit, but I had been eating a lot of hot ghost pepper cheese and drinking beer, so I think that had something to do with it as well. But no,
there's two reasons I would play a VR unit. One would be for therapy. So like if I wanted to like travel to a destination and sit on a beach in Fiji, I just put that cartridge in or whatever. Cartridge. Okay. Anyways, second thing, I would be interested to see what kind of surgical simulators are available for virtual reality.
There is a surgery simulator, but it is not at all a simulator. You were talking about that, weren't you?
Well, no. There's in the healthcare space they use VR for skilled training, right?
Gotcha.
And it's, I mean, when you're trained how to suture, you never really lose that. It's like riding a bicycle. But there are certain procedures that, like, I don't think I would be able to do now that I haven't done any surgical procedures for several years now.
Gotcha.
And I would like to get that back. Like, I would like to hone those skills in again. But now I just, Anyway, so VR is really alluring. I think the technology needs some more time.
I agree. The last thing I will say is that definitely is not really smooth when you're looking around. It's definitely a little somewhat jittery. I mean, you can tell it's not a really high quality screen resolution.
Did you know that there's Arc, that you can play Arc in VR?
I did not know that. That'd be cool though.
Can you imagine going through the bushes and a freaking something
T-Rex
jumps out? Like, I would lose my mind. I would probably poo myself. The
other thing I want to make mention too is it was not a comfortable headset to wear for over an hour. So even if you could stand motion sickness to play it that long, the headset just becomes super uncomfortable. So it's like after a while you take it off, you have an imprint on your face from where the headband was, and you're like, I'm good for playing this in chunks, not marathon.
And it's actually, that is kind of a silver lining to it.
Yeah, it is.
It doesn't force people into an environment where they would be overexposed. to using it.
Until they make really comfy headsets.
Yeah. Once they make it more efficient and comfortable,
And
that's
yeah.
where we're getting into the dangerous territory of what's real and what's not real.
I would agree with that. Yeah, no, like I said, you lose sense of where you are in the real world. Because it's that engulfing when you're in a game that's been built for VR.
I've always said that if we had holodecks, I would just live on the holodeck. I would never leave.
Be like the Matrix, man.
It
makes sense why the Matrix felt so comfortable for most people in the Matrix.
Yeah.
It was nice.
Anyway,
what have you been playing?
I've been so they patched Microsoft Flight Simulator. I think the last time I talked about this, I'm so stubborn. I know that the Boeing 787-10 Dreamliner is broken in Flight Sim 2020. And I just keep flying it because I'm so determined to land this frickin' thing. Now, if you don't know, the 787-10 Dreamliner is the largest commercial airliner in the world. It's got a wingspan of something crazy like 328 meters or something. It's wild. And it's so funny because when I fly it in Microsoft Flight Sim, it's actually too big to fit at any of the gates in the airports, which makes me think about real life. Like, this plane is so huge. Where do they park it in real life? Because it doesn't fit at any of the gates. All the airports are built for 737s or 747s, maybe. Anyways, that's beside the point. So they pushed a patch that fixed the pitch of the plane so you can control. Because when I was coming in for landing, when I would deploy the gear and put the flaps out, the drag on that would be so substantial that it would just put the plane would just go up. It would just go up in the air.
What?
And you're like, what? And I have the yoke, and I'm like, it's all the way in, and I'm trying to pitch down, and it just won't even. It's nothing. It's terrible. So they fixed that. I can now land the plane. I can land it okay. There are still a lot of problems. For instance, the landing speed is all out of whack. You have to land at a landing speed that would be considered impossible. It's like 120 miles per hour or knots, which is, I don't know how much that is.
Fast.
Yeah. But the normal landing speed for this size of an aircraft is about 155 knots. So, so there's some issues there, and there's some rudder issues with steering the plane around the taxiways and stuff like that. But it's still fun. They've come a long way with the updates, I think, since launch. So they're doing a good job. I'm pretty impressed with that. I've been playing some more Among Us, which is a lot of fun. If you haven't got it, you should get it. It's so much fun.
So many games.
It's so, like, it really tests personalities. Yeah.
That's the thing, Vendor. If like you, me, and Shalene play this, it could be show ending.
No, I don't think so. You guys are normal.
Somehow,
but,
I would always be sus, and then
it does bring out some crazy in certain people, and it really helps you filter out. Yeah. It really helps you filter out some people.
I should try
Among
it.
Us is a lot of fun. It's really fun. 4 Mile Farm and I have been playing it with some of our Canadian friends, and it's been a great time. Some of our American friends as well, and our Australian friends. It's been great.
Worldly game.
Yeah, it's awesome. And okay, so now for the big reveal.
Ooh.
I've hopped back into Ark.
You don't say.
So my Canadian friend who lives in Toronto, Jade, she and I decided that we were going to build a town. And this is something that we've always talked about. You and I have talked about it. 4 Mile and I have talked about it. We've always, a town has always been something that I've wanted to do. And we just never did it. Anyways, we decided that we were going to just look around the map, pick a spot, and start building. So we found this beautiful sort of small piece of land, this peninsula over these like archway stone big rock formations with like crystals and stuff. And it's very tropical, crystal blue waters. It's very peaceful. It's so wonderful. So when you get there, we have this big harbor, and there's a tea shop, and then there's an Irish pub, and then we have this random store that has like everything in it. You know, those little random mom and pop shops where it's like you can buy soap, but you can also buy missiles.
It's I was gonna say snow globes, but missiles works
Yes,
too.
there's a globe as well. Yeah, we have a globe in there. So that's a random sort of thing, and it's wonderful. I love it. Then we have this main street, which is 3 foundations wide, and it goes all the way through to the other side of the island where there's this small sort of like cove of water. Um, and we've connected the water to the neighboring landmass that's across the way. And the bridge on the water is all glass, but we've lined it with ground lights from the Echo Garden Decor mod in a rainbow pattern. So it's like Rainbow Road.
Oh gosh, you can fall
and
off
it's
of it.
amazing.
And you don't die if you fall off.
You don't fall off of it because this Rainbow Road has railings. So, because it leads to the bar, and you have to be able to get back to the town safely. We can't just have our residents falling into the ocean. I mean, that would be barbaric. Safety concerns. Anyways, as you leave the harbor, the dock, and you make your way down Main Street, on your right-hand side, you will run into 3 beautiful condos. And it's a set of like cookie cutter condos, and they're all like situated differently, and it's like it almost looks like a Florida retirement place. Like, it's amazing. There's palm trees everywhere. It's like just behind the condos is oh, by the way, as you just step off the dock from the harbor, we have an information booth.
Ooh.
Yes, complete with a sign that says this is a all residents must wear masks. Anyways, so you keep going down past the condos, and there is a salon that Jade built, and there's you can get a pedicure, a manicure, you can get your hair cut, you can get your hair washed. It's amazing. She did such a great job. It's filled with blue lights, so it lights up blue at night. It looks really cool. On the other side, just directly across from that, we have like a little like I don't know, it's like a solarium with some trees in it. And then down on the beach, we've got a giant tiki bar, and it's all made out of like wood, and there's this big bonfire and a bar, and I had put sort of like a lip around the top of the roof for the tiki bar on the inside here. So then I put lights right here, so it kind of shines up on the roof.
Oh, nice.
But you can't see the lights. It's awesome.
Nice.
Then we have a blacksmith. We've also built a convenience store, which is wicked cool. And next to the convenience store, an organic market. Levels, Jerry, with levels. Next to the blacksmith, we have the most cutest coffee shop. It is so amazing. The bakery and the baked goods is courtesy of 4 Mile Farm. Thank you, 4 Mile, for putting that together for us. Across from the organic market, we have a fish and chips gourmet seafood restaurant. And just down the street from the seafood restaurant, we have a winery in which supplies the wine to the restaurant. So, you know, you
Farm
can
to
do wine
table.
tastings. Yeah. Across from the restaurant, we've built a small boutique inn that is there's approximately 3 standard rooms and 1 penthouse at the top, which is wonderful. It has a beautiful view of Rainbow Road. The penthouse is amazing. You can sit on the toilet and look out on the ocean. It's you really should come check it out. Behind the coffee shop, more sort of off the beaten path, off Main Street, we've got a couple other smaller buildings, a courtyard that's surrounded by a fountain and some palm trees, a big arboretum, we call it a conservatory, which has some trees, and there's like a little chapel for like weddings and stuff. Then back on the other side of the Main Street, behind the restaurant, we've got a library, which looks kind of like a university a little bit. It's very like the pictures are in the screenshots channel in ARC. I mean, you really just need to go and look. It's amazing. I've also built a little shoe shop that I call Soulmate. And we have a flower shop. And that's pretty much the bulk of the town as it stands right now.
That's cool.
Jade built a sundial that actually works.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So depending on where the sun is, you can tell what time it is. And the best part of it is at 9 p.m., the sundial is pointing towards where the bar is going to be. So we know when the bar is open.
Nice.
You can look down at the sundial from the penthouse suite and you can go, oh, it's 9 p.m., time to go. Or you can see if there's a lineup at the bar. So we've started working on the bar. The bar is a massive glass dance floor that floats over top of sea coral and crystal and glowing weeds at night. And It's all like really cool, and we've put lights in all of it, and that's our new project that we're working on right now.
Is this on the new map or is this on Ragnarok?
It's on the new map, Crystal Isles.
I don't have that one.
It's free.
Oh, then I should get that one.
It's free, just so you know. But it's amazing. Yeah, we've been building this town, and everybody is kind of pitched in, which is kind of cool. Like how we had our market, we built that market.
I was gonna say that was the closest thing I would think maybe before
this
you'd gone.
This is like the market on steroids.
Nice.
Like, it's wild, the level of detail that Jade goes into, like every single little blade of grass and muffin and flower and picture and ornament and glass. It's like all there. She just put it all there. It's amazing.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, that's been my refuge.
Oh, we're good, man.
Lately.
That's good. I'm glad you're playing some games again.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Well, good.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you're playing?
No, I think that's pretty much it.
Oh, cool. All right.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to Shipbreaker. I think I talked about that.
You
though.
did talk about it a little bit. You still enjoying it?
I haven't hopped back into it since, because there was that new patch for Microsoft Flight Sim.
Right.
So I've been trying to land the Boeing 787, and I mean, I'm getting a lot better at it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So.
Are you still on a hiatus from streaming?
I've been doing a couple of cycling streams.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So I've set my bike back up on my indoor trainer, and I've been doing some cycling, but it's been a particularly challenging and busy week, so I haven't had much energy to stream after work.
Cool. Just figured I'd ask.
Yeah. So keep an eye out on that if you guys are feeling like you want to get active, or if you just want to sit on the couch and eat cake and watch me burn calories, you can do that too.
Where can people find that at?
Twitch.tv/Vendortron.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that is almost concluding this show. We have some plugs and announcements. Again, next on the 7th, the Extra Life stream will not be happening. However, Survival Horror Sunday, I think, is going to be going on. That'll be on the 8th at 6 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Mountain, something. I don't know. 6 p.m. Eastern. There you go. That'll be happening on this Sunday. We'll be playing Left 4 Dead 2. Then next Friday will be that Fallout show recorded here at twitch.tv/We Just Love Games at 8:30 Mountain, 8:30 Eastern, 6:30 Mountain. There we go. You can email us because we like reading your emails during the show here, and you can email us at info@wejustlovegames.com. You can tweet at the network at We Just Love Games. You can tweet at Shalene, who is a pile of hats tonight, at Shalene L. You can tweet at Vendortron, at Vendortron N. You can tweet at me as well, at Rick McVick. We're also on Facebook at facebook.com/We Just Love Games, also /groups/We Just Love Games. We're on Discord. If you want to know how to get on the Discord, send us a message. We'll give you a link. Or you could always come here to twitch.tv/We Just Love Games, and the link is always on that page as well at the bottom below the said hats. We record live at 6:30 p.m. Mountain, 8:30 p.m. Eastern here at twitch.tv/We Just Love Games. Gamestack every other Friday. Today, I guess this Friday being the other, and next Friday we alternate between We Just Love Games and that Fallout show. We're on YouTube as well, so please subscribe to us on there as well. And you can find this podcast on Stitcher and iTunes Radio, or wherever you get your podcasts from. I believe we are also on Google Podcasts, the new app that they put out. So awesome. If you please like, subscribe, and review. If you leave 5 stars on iTunes as well as some text, we will shout you out at the beginning of the show, like we did the Daedric Prince of Doom, Molag Bal, at the beginning of this episode. Thank you so much for listening. And do you have any last words, Vendor?
A change is as good as a rest.